Hey everyone, thank you so much for being here today. My name is Denise. I'm also known as heywigsister on Instagram and Facebook. Today I'm here with a wig review for you. I'm partnering with TressAllure to bring you a review of Clarissa in the color Mocha Gold. TressAllure did send me this wig so I could review it for you. And this video is going to be chock full of information. So hold on to your hat because I am going to tell you all about Clarissa. I'm going to cover this color. I'm going to show you another Clarissa so you can see two compared to each other. And I have a whole section of this video where I had to deal with cold crimping on this wig in order to be able to review it fairly. So I have included everything that I did with a hot airbrush to get rid of cold crimping of the bangs, as well as some of the fibers on the side that were sticking out. Cold crimping is a part of the wig journey. It is something that almost every wig wearer will deal with at some point if you wear enough wigs for long enough. And so I think it's valuable for you to see how to handle it when you get a wig with some cold crimping out of the box. So that will be tacked onto the end of this video. So if you want to see any part of this at all, then stick around because we're going to get into Clarissa. All right, guys, so I will admit I struggled at first. I wasn't sure how to best talk about this piece because the cold crimping was serious enough that I did not feel I could review it fairly. I just think that if I would have reviewed it as it was out of the box, you guys would have written it off immediately because it just didn't look great. Luckily, I had another Clarissa on hand that was sent to me by a wig sister, and I was able to verify that what I was seeing, it was cold crimping. And so I do show the other Clarissa in the other part of this video. So I'm going to leave that there. I'm not going to show it to you again. I will just focus on this wig. But I did end up deciding to fix the cold crimping on video and document the whole thing for you. So I'm not misleading you in any way about this piece. You will see what I was dealing with, but I believe with all my heart that had I gotten another piece, that wouldn't have been an issue. And so in a way, because I am a reviewer that puts education at the heart of everything that I do, it was a blessing that I got one with cold crimping like I did, because then I was able to show you what to do, because that truly is something that you may come across in the future. And I'd sure hate for you to miss out on a great style because you just don't know how to deal with a little cold crimping, which is actually pretty fixable. All right, then let's get into this wig so I can tell you all about Clarissa. So TressAllure reached out to me. We've partnered once before on a review, and they asked if I'd like to review another piece. And I was really excited because, again, anytime I have a chance to get my hands on a wig is awesome, because then I can show it to all of you, and I certainly couldn't afford to keep purchasing all of these to be able to show them. So they gave me a few different ones I could choose from, and I chose Clarissa for a couple of reasons. One of them is because she has a double mono top. So Clarissa has double monofilament up there. Look at how natural that looks. So I'll talk more about that, but let me not get ahead of myself here, and let me just show you what Clarissa looks like from all sides. I'm just kind of excited. I've been working with her now for like an hour and a half, so I'm kind of excited to talk about her. So you can see she's got an A-line cut and a bit of a stack in the back. Long enough, know that you get really good coverage. I don't think that anybody would struggle to cover their bio hair with this nape. I think it's long enough. And a cute little stack. And then you can see that A-line right there. It's not so extreme that it looks like you forgot to finish cutting your hair. I think maybe some of you know what I mean. You will sometimes get a wig that has such an extreme A-line that it almost looks like the stylist forgot to finish cutting your hair. I don't think that's the issue with this one at all. Just really good. And actually, you can see I did have a lot of struggle with these bangs from this piece. The other piece that I have, And I actually may have to put it on so I can compare them even here, because I didn't spend a lot of time on the other piece. The bangs lay beautifully. So you are definitely not necessarily going to get one that has any of the struggles that I'm dealing with here, because I have one that proves that you won't. But let's talk about this color, Mocha Gold. So I'm going to pull up my website, and of course it timed out as I was just chatting away here. And I'm going to talk with you about these colors. So if you're not familiar, I do have a website. It's heywigsister.com. I put blog posts out there and other things. And I have a couple of documents on there in the resources section that talk about color. One is a brand color list and one is a color index. So let's start with the brand color list, this color Mocha Gold. What I was able to find online about this color is the following description: medium brown, blended and tipped with medium gold blonde. The color codes that I was able to find online for this color are 18/24B. So those colors are a little confusing to me, because an 18 is more in the blonde tones versus the brown. And this says it's a medium brown, 18, tipped with medium, blended and tipped with medium gold blonde, which is the 24B. So then let me go over to the color index and let me tell you what I find there. So an 18 on my color index, and again, I compiled this information from all kinds of resources online. An 18 is a dark ash blonde or a lightest ash brown, and I will tell you I see ash in this color. I will get outside for you guys so you can see this outside as well. I definitely see ash. In the brown on here, it's more of an ashy brown. And then the 20, did I say it was a 26B? 24B. So then a 24B is a butterscotch blonde according to my color index. So what do we make of it? I would say it is an ashy gold. It's like an ashy brunette with gold highlights. It's very golden and ash. So you've got that combination of an ash and a gold, and it pulls pretty neutral. I would say that this is not spectacularly warm at all. And then you've got visible highlights. So you can see there's a little bit of a stripy appearance because of how they've done these highlights. It definitely gives the appearance of a foil, like if you went to a stylist and got your hair foiled. That's the appearance that it gives. Kind of a very 80s coloring style, I think. It's a very pretty color. It's great, I think, for brunettes that don't want red. I don't really see red in this piece at all. Like I said, I will get outside for you so you can see this outside. I'm not seeing red or any of that. It's just very, very pretty. All right, now let's talk about the style. So Clarissa has, like I said in the beginning, a full mono top, and that gives this part line tremendous realism. Really realistic part line. There is no lace front on this one, so you won't be able to pull it up off of your face. Some of you will really appreciate that. I know I have quite a few wig sisters who don't really like lace fronts. One of the struggles I'm having with this one is because it doesn't have a lace front, it does not, this particular piece doesn't lay like down right here very well. And so you can sort of see that cap right there, just a little bit. There's a line right here where they've reinforced the front of that monofilament, where the double monofilament is. I don't think, and I'll put the other one on so you can see the difference in how those bangs lay. I honestly don't think it's that big of a deal. I think they put so much of the gold and the light right here, it kind of just looks like your hair is really light right up at the hairline. So I'm not sure that it's a real big deal, but I do want to mention that it doesn't have a lace front. So you'll want to make sure that you're styling it in a way where the bangs lay forward. Now, you can cut a full bang in this one, and that will solve that problem. It doesn't have the right length bangs to begin with for it to be a full bang on me. But honestly, all I would need to do is just trim up all of this, and it would be just fine, and that would take care of that. So if you like bangs and you're not afraid to do a little trimming of your own, then you can definitely trim this up and make that kind of whole front issue go away completely. The density of this is moderate. I would say it's not heavy density, but it's not super light density either. It's a moderate density. It's got a good amount of hair. It's not an overwhelming amount of hair, and but it definitely is a very polished hairstyle, and it looks like you took somebody who had kind of thickish hair and then gave them a lot of texture with a lot of layers. That's what it looks like. And these hair fibers are quite substantial. They remind me a little bit of Noriko fibers in the sense that they're thicker and they're more substantial. They're not light and airy and wispy. They're definitely going to hold the style really well. There is permatease in here. I can feel it on the sides here and definitely back here. That's what allows this to have that great stack. The permatease back there gives you nice lift so you can have a good stack, and you can actually get in there and mess it up and make that bigger so you can really get a nice stack going. It's really a cute style, and I think it's got a lot of flexibility because you can play with that permatease and you can fluff it up, or you can tame it down some and just give it a real professional and polished look. A great kind of office hairstyle. Let me take off this one. I'll put the other one on, and then I'll show you the cap of the other one so that you can see how they compare. I still need to talk about coverage too. Make sure I don't skip that. So this one is in the color Deep Forest. I'll do a color spotlight on this one because I have not ever reviewed this color before. Wig Sister sent me a whole bunch of really dark wigs so that I would have a chance to do some dark brunettes. I haven't had dark brunettes in a long time. So there you go. That is, see what I mean by this just lays a little bit nicer, especially when you see at the end when I do the fixing the cold crimping. This didn't have any of those issues at all. Yeah, super cute style. So let's look at the cap while you're looking at Clarissa in a different color. So we have got that full mono top and then a silicone front. So this is great if you don't have any bio hair at all. It does give you a great base to adhere the wig to your head. It's also going to prevent any itching that might occur from a lace front because it doesn't have a lace front. It does have the kind of scratchy ear tabs. It doesn't have the soft velvet ear tabs. There's a somewhat of an extended nape back here, and it does have the bra, the pull adjusters. And like I said, the density is moderate, and there's a good amount of permatease. So when I kind of squeeze on it, I can feel that permatease, and it doesn't feel like it's a super low density piece, but it also doesn't look poofy. It doesn't look like it's a high density piece at all. It looks very natural and realistic in my opinion. And these fibers are, because they're the kind of the hardier fibers, they really look natural. They don't take on like a fake synthetic look. And as I look at this wig here off my head, it doesn't look super shiny either. It just looks really natural. And definitely is a good mix between ashy and gold. So it's not super ashy, but it's also not super warm. And like I said, I don't really see red. I see gold and I see ash brown, but I really don't see red. The cap fits me very well. It is slightly snug. It feels like it's a perfect fit for me. So I would say it's not big head friendly. It is pretty true to average. I think petite will be able to, average petite will be able to wear this cap. Average large will struggle. I don't get really any extra cap up here. I don't have much extra room in the stretch area, so 22 and a quarter circumference probably are going to be fine. Much bigger than that, it might be a little snug on you. It definitely fits me great. It gives me really good coverage. No bio hair showing here at all. Lots of hair sewn in on the ear tab, and that ear tab goes well below my ear. So I've said this in many videos, one of the things I prefer on a wig is when the ear tabs come down to here and then my ear is a little higher and behind. That gives me the best coverage, and this is giving me fantastic coverage. That said, I would struggle to wear glasses with this one a little bit because the ear tabs come just low enough that there isn't a lot of clearance there. So I would have to get creative on wearing glasses with it. But it's the trade-off. I love the coverage. She definitely can be tucked. Even though I don't get a ton of clearance, I do get enough clearance that I can totally tuck. And this is a cute one for tucking a little bit and leaving a little bit out. Notice the light on my camera is not doing so well in here today. So sorry about that, guys. It is a cute style, really cute style. All right, so I'm gonna get outside. We'll look at this color outside, and then if you care to see what I did to get rid of the cold crimping on this one, then stick around and you'll see that after the outside look. Hang on. All right, everyone, here we are with Clarissa right out of the box. So this is how Clarissa looked. Actually, she's not right out of the box. I've already sprayed her with water. I've already shaken her out, hung her upside down to dry, hung her right side up. She's been out of the box for about 5 days now. So there is definitely a bunch of cold crimping going on with this one. The bangs are sticking out. They won't behave. I've got fibers sticking out over here. I've got some issues in the back. There's just a whole lot of cold crimping going on. And how do I know that it's cold crimping and that it's not a flaw with the wig? Well, I happen to be lucky enough to have a second Clarissa. And since I'm filming this part of the video first, because I had to handle the box hair, I'm not sure if I will show this one in the other part of the video. So I will show it to you now so that you can see. I got really lucky to have a wig sister send me this Clarissa. It's a coincidence, actually, that she sent it to me. But I was able to compare this Clarissa, and it's been in the box, but so let me fluff it a little bit, with that one. And I'm able to see that this does not have those same issues. The bangs lay beautifully on this one. Absolutely beautiful. I don't have big wing or sticking up all over the place on this one. That's really how I know for sure that it's something unique to the piece that I have and that it's cold crimping, because I've seen it before. So if you get a wig that has issues like we're seeing on this Clarissa, you have a couple of options. You can always return it for another, or just return it altogether. But I will warn you, I just had a wig sister reach out to me actually today, and I put out a Tip Tuesday video today. As I'm filming this, a Tip Tuesday video released, and I show you how you deal with unruly bangs with a hot air brush. And she had gotten a wig that had issues with the front, and she didn't know that you could take a hot air brush to them. She just thought they were defective, and so she sent it back and reordered, and now it's on back order. So she can't get it now for who knows how long. Middle of December is what they're telling her right now. So the reality is our supply chain is struggling. And so you may be faced with figuring out how to work with a wig or have no wig. And so I'd like to show you how you deal with cold crimping, and then I will review this piece, because I don't think it's fair to review this piece because this is not typical of Clarissa. I have another, and I've shown you that. I also don't think it's fair for me to modify anything without being honest with you guys. So I'm doing kind of a happy medium. I'm going to review this, which you have seen already, my review of this piece. And now I'm going to show you what I dealt with so that I could get it to look normal. And so hopefully that you guys are okay with this. You feel like this is enough transparency. But I'm not going to bash on a wig that I know has a unique issue with this piece alone and isn't a product of it being a bad wig. This can happen. It can happen. So let's get to working on this. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to spray some water on it, because I'm going to use a hot air brush on it, and I want the fibers to be damp. I don't want them to be soaked, because then it will take way too long for the hot air brush to dry them. So you're just getting them damp. Some of this will be trial and error for you as you try to figure out the best way to, you know, do these kinds of things, but that's kind of the first thing. Now I'm going to take my hot air brush. I will link this hot air brush in the description. Any hot air brush that has no metal on it should work. This one I know for sure, it's the Hot Tools one. It very low temperature, so it's not going to singe synthetic fibers. You know, other ones I can't vouch for how hot they actually get. I know this one works, and I've used it. A lot of people have used this a lot. So here we go. We're gonna just start. And I turn it on high. High isn't super high. And what I'm trying to do is I'm just trying to redirect these fibers. So some combing down, some curling under, because, you know, some of them are sticking up. So I want to get them to not stick up anymore. The bangs are a real issue. And the key is just to keep the air moving. I may sit and linger on a section for a little bit, especially while this is still really damp. But I don't want to sit and linger too long. Because even though this is low heat, this is still regular synthetic. And you can see, this does not get hot. Look at how long I can hold my hand on here. And I'm not burning my hand at all. So it really doesn't get super hot. So this is what I'm going to do all throughout the piece to get the fibers to lay down. So I'm just going to work on this for a minute, and then I'll come back and talk to you guys. So I'm going to pause, and then I'm going to speed up. Okay, I wanted to come back real quick to explain something. So as you're doing this, you're going to want to, as it starts to dry, you're going to want to make sure you hold the fibers in place as they cool. So it's still pretty damp. I actually probably sprayed it a little more than I needed to. And so as they dry, then I'm going to start holding it in place as it cools, because that will help to reset the fibers. So the key to changing the style on a synthetic, and you can see this is still wanging a little bit, but it's also still wet. The key to changing the style on a synthetic wig is you've got to heat up the fibers in a way that won't burn them, and then you've got to let it cool in the new style. That's what's going to set it. So I'm going to get back to kind of working on it and speed this up, but I wanted to explain that to you. As you see me start to hold it in place and I just kind of wait, that's why I'm doing that. All right, guys, so a lot of this is better. I really am struggling with this piece right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little heat treat thermal spray on it, and I'm going to try that. And then my last ditch attempt would be steam. Steam is like the big guns when it comes to restyling a synthetic wig. And sometimes you need more than what a little hot air brush can deliver, because it really doesn't get super hot. And it did really well for some of these others. They're staying down nice. It's just really this front piece that I'm struggling with. So let's try it with the thermal spray. All right, everyone, I got it. I got it. Okay, so I did have to, I just didn't want this video to go on and on and on. So I did have to just take that hot air brush a number of times more. I did spray it with water again. And I just kept going over it and holding it down until it was cool, fully cool. And I did that a number of times, and there you go. Much better. So I could have sped up the time it took me to do that by using steam, and that would have probably done the same thing more quickly. But I just really didn't want to do that. I didn't want to go get my steamer out, get the distilled water, get heated up, all of that stuff. So this worked great. So now the cold crimping is gone. Now we can see Clarissa the way she is meant to look. And so that's what I did so that you could see the review at the beginning of this video. Hopefully this was helpful to you. Hopefully you don't ever have to deal with cold crimping, but it could be part of your wig journey at some point. So it's really, really good to know how to do these things. And I really recommend you pick up one of these. If you can watch for it to go on sale. You can get it at Walmart. I will link it from Amazon, and they're not super expensive. And honestly, I've had an opportunity to use it a number of times. So I think it will end up paying for itself in you being able to maybe work with wigs you otherwise wouldn't have been able to work with, and save you a little bit of heartache. One quick tip, I'll do this in a Tip Tuesday probably, but since you guys are here, I'll just mention it. This can also be good for getting rid of a bunch of flyaways. So straight wigs like this can sometimes be a challenge because you have to deal with flyaways, like little pieces of hair that stick up sort of all over. You can get it a little damp and take a hot air brush and smooth those flyaways down, just like this. That is another great use for one of these, so I do think they're worth having on hand. All right, guys, thanks for sticking around and seeing how I managed to deal with the cold crimping on this one. Thanks so much for watching. I appreciate you guys so much, and I'll talk to you soon. All right, everyone, we're outside with Mocha Gold. Got a little wind going on here. Such a beautiful frosted color, so unique. Let me get into the sunlight for you so that the gold tones will really just pop. You can see how the gold just stands out. But really it's more kind of ashy brunette gold, not really red at all. It's just gorgeous. All right, guys, hopefully that was helpful and you saw what you needed. Thanks for watching. All right, we're here for the out of the box of Clarissa. So Clarissa came yesterday. I took her out of the box. I took the tag off of her and I tried her on, but I didn't do the out of the box. So I've not done anything to her but try her on. So I kind of know what I'm going to tell you guys about this out of the box experience. First of all, right off the bat, I'm noticing she's pretty snug, so I'm sure I'll talk about that in the review. All right, this is Clarissa out of the box. I see a couple of issues that are going to need to be dealt with. I see some, I think, what is cold crimping. So when you see hair that's not kind of cooperating, that's sort of wanging out, I think there's some cold crimping in the back. that's considered cold crimping. I did review a wig. I've got some cold crimping, I think, over here. I did review a wig a while ago that had cold crimping, and I kind of showed how to handle it in a subsequent video. I'm going to see kind of the best way to approach this one so that I can help you if you were to deal with cold crimping, and so what you can do if you decide to keep the wig. Cold crimping, all is not lost. It's not a permanent condition usually, and it's hard to know whether it is actually cold crimping sometimes or if it's just the style. So this could just be the style. It just might need some time to settle. There is some permatease in here, and so giving it some shakes, maybe hanging it upside down, different things like that, using water on it could really help some of those issues. So let's shake her out, since you got to do that. I mean, that, especially a wig with permatease, you have to shake that wig out. You have to kind of fluff up the permatease. You know, I like to shake, I like to toss. I often will hang a wig upside down that has some permatease because you want gravity to lift up those fibers from the cap. So, you know, it's a little bit of a work in progress. Yeah, I'm definitely going to need to do something with that cold crimping. So that, if that's cold crimping, which I think it is, see this over here, I really think that's what those things are. That is unique to this piece. That isn't something that you're necessarily going to see in another piece. So you might get one of these and not have any of those things that I'm seeing. So don't look at this one and think, I'm not going to buy it. It can happen with the best wigs. It can happen with the most carefully packed wigs. Just things happen. And so I want to caution you that when you see something like that on one person, that you don't assume it's going to be a problem for you. But I am going to show you how to deal with it, because I'd sure hate for you to get a wig that you would have loved otherwise, but you just don't have the skills or the knowledge to make it your own and to deal with a couple of the minor inconveniences that can come with wigs. So otherwise, without those few things, I think she's super cute and definitely could be a shake and go if you didn't have some of those things. Really, really, really cute and wouldn't need much. All right, so that's the out of the box. I'll make sure that I told you everything I did with her in the main body of the video. Thanks for sticking around for this part.